Any man, any game. One-on-one poker and $500,000 just to sit down. This is the challenge that Tom Dwan has issued to the world. Welcome to the Full Tilt Poker Durrrr Million Dollar Challenge. Welcome to London's Les Ambassadors Casino for one of the biggest heads-up events, the Full Tilt Poker Durrrr Million Dollar Challenge. The poker sensation Tom Dwan will take on three of the world's greatest cash game players. When the cards go in the air, we find out if anyone can beat Tom Dwan. Known as Durrrr, this 23-year-old started with nothing and has built an empire.
I convinced my parents to throw $50 online on my Paradise Poker account and never look back.
He has won record pots of over $1.1 million.
You need to be confident in your game. You need to be able to bluff and lose a big pot and make a big call and be wrong and just move on to the next hand and get over it.
He has an impressive resume, which includes cashes in the WSOP, EPT, and Premier League.
I had a nickname for you. You know what it was?
What was it?
Duracell. You keep raising and raising and raising and raising.
In 2009, Durrrr issued a heads-up challenge.
Heads-up poker is definitely my favorite form of poker. You're going to need to always play a lot of hands. You're going to need to always be thinking.
His opponents are London businessman Sammy and E2 George.
There's no better feeling than walking in with 150,000 or walking out with $500,000.
Italian high-stakes player Marcello.
Every time you play with a good player, you can learn something. Even if you lose money, maybe it's almost like you buy something.
And Finnish pro Zygmunt.
Of course, it's a lot of money, but it's more for me winning. It's not only money.
I would always rather end up with the money. I don't care if I get lucky or play well to get there. But it's most likely that you end up with the money if you play well.
Tonight, the challenge begins as Sammy and E2 George takes on Durrrr in a bid for $500,000.
I can't believe I'm playing Tom Dwan.
You're so sick in the head.
Let me study what you do here.
I won't play this hand even when I feel it.
Both at it.
Good news.
Now we're talking Sammy talk.
I think it'd be an awesome game.
I'm sure your body looks nicer naked than mine.
All right.
What a cooler.
I just suck at math.
I hate that.
I'm thrilled to be joined for analysis throughout this match by numbers 1 and 2 in British poker, Roland DeWolf and Neil Channing. Now, guys, Sammy George, how tough an opponent is this going to be?
Well, this is going to be super interesting to see, firstly, what Sammy turns up, because Sammy's A game is pretty good. You know, he's a business guy, he's learnt poker in the last couple of years, but he's a hell of a guy. He's a bundle of enthusiasm with an infectious personality who started out wanting to play against very good players right from the start, and he's got a big heart and learning, but he was very, very much overmatched when he first learned. But he's got a lot better, but sometimes he still slips back into very, very poor play, but sometimes he plays great, so it just depends which Sammy George we see today.
A lot of people have been most excited about this match because Sammy George was the first guy to really stand up and say, I'll take on Durrrr. Maybe I'm an underdog, maybe I'm not. He was the only guy in the UK to do it, and you got to respect him for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sammy's pretty amazing, really. I mean, he's probably been playing poker about 3 years. He started playing £1, £2 limits, and now he's going to be playing against Durrrr, you know, possibly the world's greatest player. Certainly, I think, unarguably the greatest online player, and certainly one of the greatest poker players in the world. And fair play to him, you know, he's standing up there and being counted.
He's also a guy, you feel like this is the biggest poker moment he's ever had, and he knows it. He wants it. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
He's definitely going to be hungry for this game. It's a big stage for him. He doesn't want to get embarrassed. He's been thinking about it and talking about it forever. And you know, fair play. He stood up, and a lot of people have shied away from it. And he said, look, I'm going to do it. And some people are like thinking that this could be a real killing, a real mismatch, and some people have come to see a slaughter. It might turn out that way, but it might not. Sammy could win. You know, he can beat Durrrr if the cards go his way.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're playing No Limit Hold'em. There was some talk about them playing Pot Limit Omaha. Most people that spoke to Sammy that like him said you should play No Limit Hold'em. If you think about some of the heavyweight boxing matches over the years, the other guy, the underdog guy, he's always got a puncher's chance. And I think in No Limit Hold'em, you can just land one lucky blow. I'm not saying that Sammy needs to be like super lucky to win. He's probably not even worse than a 33% chance of winning this. But he's going to have to play good and probably be a bit lucky.
No way.
Thrilled to be joined throughout this match by Isaac Haxton, known as Love the WNBA online. And you know a bit about Tom Dwan. You've played him.
Yeah, I've played quite a few hands heads up with Tom and some more in ring games.
And this match, I mean, exciting sort of match, because this is kind of what's going on in poker these days. Heads up, deep stacked.
Yeah, I think it's just the most exciting format of poker, bar none. Deep stacked, heads up, no limit.
I believe you.
If you had to sort of
flip just to get it over with.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't want to flip for 500K, but we both just were playing terrible and wanted to get it over with.
Sick. Absolutely sick.
not as crazy as it sounds. The players would actually just gamble sometimes for large, huge amounts online. A flip thing.
Oh, yeah. Some of the Chinese poker action I've seen with these sorts of guys.
Well, into the game now, and it's a raise on the button from Sammy, and he's flopped huge here, the royal flush draw. Tom's led it for 5, and I mean, Sammy's played this quite weak, hasn't he? Is he opening himself up to sort of a bluff on the river now?
Well, only if he folds to it.
He's missed his clubs, he's missed his overcards, he's missed...
Yeah, I wonder what Tom's thinking about doing here.
I mean, it makes sense to be bluffing now, doesn't it, for Tom? We're putting in a bet. And
it does. That is not a small bet at all. That's 2.5 times the pot or so. Making a little bit of a statement here, I think.
I mean, it's massive. It's
How much?
43.
Is Sammy really thinking about calling this? It's Is it such a big bet that it has to be a huge hand or nothing, or?
You would think so, though. If Sammy's going to call with ace high, then Tom can do it with a jack. I mean,
thank you.
A massive call from Sammy George early.
That is a big call. He is here to play.
And for Tom, the early bath. I mean, if you had to characterize sort of Tom Dwan's style.
King 8.
He's a really fearless sort of guy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
a lot of different ways. Fearless in the sense of he's willing to make big bluffs and big call downs, and also, you know, he's willing to play anybody. He's willing to win and lose gigantic sums of money. He's just a really gutsy poker player.
Well, a great start to the match, and sort of an indication that these guys are going to be willing to get the money in with or without a hand.
Oh, yeah, I think we're going to see some action here.
Sammy peeling off the flop here.
Check. 5,000.
And is this kind of an automatic sort of continuation bet for Tom? That's what we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, I think he'll be betting often here with any 2 overcards to that board. That's not a good card for Tom to continue bluffing here. I think he's likely to check back. It can give Sammy trip 10s, and it also improves his